And welcome back, guys. We're going to go straight into the builds because we are sorry for all the delays that have been happening here. We got both teams in here ready to go over builds and ready to start the match, so we're just going to dive right into it. Looking first here at Wakey. Wakey's going to be running DD for us today. He's going to be running a pretty typical setup, Holbrack Rune, Celestial Amulet with the trait setup being 00266. Moving right along, Nas is going to be running the build that we've seen him run for a long time now, Staff, Scepter, Dagger, Rune of the Nightmare, Carrion Amulet with the trait setup being 06404. Next along, we're going straight to Magic Toker. He's going to be running Acro, Sword, Dagger. He's going to be running the Strength Rune as well as the Berserker Amulet. And like I said, 2066 Acro build is going to be ran by him. So Fantaram is up next. Fantaram is going to be running Dagger, Ellie. He's going to be running Holbrack and Celestial Amulet. The trait setup as well being pretty standard, 00266 here. Moving right on to, I believe this is 5 gauge. He's going to be running Selly Rifle. He's going to be running Rune of the Pack, actually, instead of the Rune of the Holbrack. He's going to be running 60044. So a little bit more damage there, a little less county clear, but we'll see how that works out for them. Moving over to the blue team, just to check to see if anybody has made any changes at all. It looks like the Dagger Ellie is going to be reused by H-Man here. Same setup as before, the 00266. Zombify using the same build as before as well, opting for the Traveler runes over the Nightmare runes as well. Tarsus is going to be doing the same thing as well, running that Shout, Sword, Warhorn, Longbow build with the Soldier runes and Celestial Amulet, but the traits being 10463. Cade as well going to be running his Dagger Pistol Acro Thief build that he has been using now for about 2 days, and he's going to be reusing that, and we'll have to see how that plays out here. Osterjags going to be using the same build as well. That's Selly, Rifle, NG. He's going to be running Holbrack runes, and he's going to be running the trait setup of 60044. We have done all of the builds. We are ready to go. I'm so sorry for all the waits that we've had in the past, but here we go. This is your finals. The Abjured versus Dodge or Die. This is it to see who wins tonight for the $400 that is on the line and to see who gets bragging rights going into next week, as well as the WTS IQ that will potentially allow them to play in PAX East in Boston in March.
Yeah, you know what? Talking about that, these two teams are clearly the front runners in the NA scene right now, shown by their dominating performances here tonight. We do see the Abjured has sent both their Thief and their Elementalist over to the Henge. We just have now, though, the Thief has actually backed off over towards the Mine. So it's a 1v1 over on the Henge. We've got a 2v2 on Keep, and we've got our first big team fight on the Mine. That's what we're going to take you guys now as we see Cade going into the downstate right away. Magic Toker bringing a lot of pain on him. 5 gauge going in for the cleave as well. Cade going actually on respawn now. 5 gauge able to get that point full capped, and now that is going to put Dodge or Die on the back pedal. They're going to have to slide out, go towards the Keep now, as they are definitely a man down over on the Mine. That means also, though, that the red team, the Abjured, can also follow them, train them into the Keep, as we see Nas doing right now to Oegs. Oegs getting taken out by Toker too. So Toker has taken down Cade and Oegs in the first opening moments of this match. Great play by Toker there. Oegs is going to get cleaved out. Tarsus, it seems, is the next focus of the Abjured. The Abjured just all over Dodge or Die. They've literally chased them from the Mine now all the way over here to what seems to be the Henge. Tarsus goes into the downstate. Let's see if they're going to get him cleaved out as well. They are. So Tarsus is also on respawn
and there's
here.
the WTS tournament flag coming out from Toker there, showing everybody where he's coming from. You know, this is a strong team, and they're showing it right here with this early 57-8 lead that's coming out right here. 5 gauge helping out Nas to take out Zombify now, and Zombify is in the downstate. It looks like they're going to try to get him up, but there's the stomp coming out from Fantaram. Fantaram is now cleaving onto H-Man and Osterjags, but they're going to probably manage to get 5 gauge down if 5 gauge can't pull out quick enough. He's still got both his dodge rolls. He might be okay. He's going to try to get away as fast as possible, and he looks to be like he's going to be safe. His heel's up, and there he goes. So he's going to be safe for now. This 2-cap is still rolling right now. They have an 80-point lead. This is why the Abjured won that tournament in Beijing. This is a strong team, and they're showing it here. Ostrich Eggs right now getting absolutely destroyed by both members of the Abjured here, both 5-Gauge as well as Nos, and now they're looking to take on Cade next, and Cade gets dropped as well. This is just literally just decimation right now in terms of how many of these Dodge or Die players are just falling apart piece by piece out here.
Yeah, it's amazing how methodical the Abjured is, taking it to Dodge or Die. Like I said, it started at mine and it carried all the way over to the Henge, where we see a major team fight happening now. It looks like Zombify is the target of Toker and Wakey. They're going to try to bring him down. He had to switch into the Death Shroud to try to mitigate some of that damage. H-Man is forced to pull off the point just for a second there, but Tarsus is still there to provide support for Zombify. Zombify, though, is going low. Look at his health pool right now. He's in danger of going into the downstate here. Switched over to his Death Shroud, but that's only going to help him so much as he didn't get a lot of time to build up more life force. So he is going to go into the downstate. That burn was just too much, but his teammates are there to attempt to res. Let's see if they're going to be able to get him up. This would be very important if they do, but they do. There comes the banner out. I believe that was actually, that had to have been Tarsus there, getting the banner out and getting Zombify up, but they're going to have to do something with that now, as Dodge or Die hasn't had a point in quite some time now. Herix, they've lost a 2-cap to the Abjured. Wakey is still on the Henge point, fighting that 1v1 against O-Eggs. I think O-Eggs might be able to take this here, but Wakey just doing a great job mitigating a lot of that damage by switching into the Water Attunement. There come out the Slick Shoes, looking for some hard CC there to try to prevent him as he was knocked back. But again, just nobody, it seems, is going to take this 1v1 very quickly. Let's go ahead and switch over to that team fight that's kind of happening, as we see in the picture-in-picture there. There was a small team fight that was happening over in between Keep and Henge. It looks like the Abjured, though, got the better of that team fight. Their home node was decapped shortly, but as we saw, Toker did get over there and quickly recapped it. O-Eggs now being trained down by Toker, so things not looking good for Dodge or Die at all, Herix.
Yeah, not at all. 250 to 20. That's a big lead right now. Nos is being put under pressure, but Ostrich Eggs as well being put into pressure here, and they're both downstated, so it's going to be a race to see who can get up, and it's Ostrich Eggs, both as well as Noscock are able to get up, so this is going to be a cleave fest right now to see who can be dropped, and H-Man and Ostrich not looking healthy right now. Ostrich gets dropped and H-Man to follow. They're both downstated right now. This is a great opportunity for the Abjured here to solidify this point, and they do take advantage of that. Toker now chasing off Tarsus here, and he's going to just kind of chase him back and try to make sure that they don't allow Tarsus to just get free caps here. So that's a good plan of action there. As we can see, Cade getting a back cap there on mine here, and we can see that that's going to finally allow Dodge or Die to get some points accumulating for their team here. And Tarsus now being into a 2v1 situation. Cade's going to have to move over with Zombify, or one of them will have to move over and give Tarsus some support, or else he's going to be in some trouble very, very shortly. And with a lot of members of Dodge or Die going out recently, you can't have things like that happening. You really got to keep your teammates up because you need them. The Abjured is really strong in these team fights, and if you don't have all your members there, you are going to lose all of these team fights, and that's going to be bad for your team because you're not going to be able to get these nodes. You're not going to be able to control the momentum going into this fight, and that's where things start falling apart, and that's why the Abjured has this lead already, because when they started up, Cade got taken out. It was already a 4v5, and that's how they got this big lead that they already have right now, and it's hard to come back from something like that versus a team like the Abjured.
Yeah, and you know what? Tarsus getting kind of low here, doing a great job just avoiding as many members of the red team as he can for quite some time now, but he looks like he's finally going to get trained off the point, too. That would be a very bad spot to go down in. I'm not sure. He's just really trying his best to kite the best he can, but there he goes into the downstate here. It has been all Abjured all day long here in this match. I don't see Dodge or Die really hasn't gotten a chance to get any momentum going here as fans Fanaram we see is full capping the mine here. At the same time, we do have this 1v1 between Zombify and Wakey developing on the keep. You know, Herix, are you surprised about how one-sided this has been considering the quality of players that are on Dodge or Die? I mean, this is just impressive from the Abjured, to be honest with you. I know how good they are. I've seen them play together since pretty much the end of TOG in that WTS qualifier #1. But, I mean, I'm just, again, I'm surprised on how dominant they are right now to a team that has such high-level players as Dodge or Die.
Yeah, you know, I'm a firm believer in the fact that nothing is unbeatable. We saw a lot of commentary happening back when Apex was kind of coming out into the scene in TO01. A lot of people having problems with the composition. We saw a similar thing happening to CM actually recently. We just saw today TCG found a way to give him some hurt, and I think that anything is beatable. And looking at Dodge or Die and the games prior to this, the 2 matches they were in, but prior to this matchup here, they were looking strong. They were looking really good. They were looking just as strong as TCG was going into the same matchup versus CM. So I thought that maybe they would have a pretty good opportunity. Maybe this is a fluke match. Maybe the opening really messed them up and they had some miscommunication going on that kind of continued on, and maybe this is kind of just a data match, you know, as they say, and they'll be doing better later on. But I really did expect them to kind of come out here and show us what they're made of, and I really expected at least a victory coming from Dodge or Die, this kind of turning into a 2-1. But we'll have to see. Right now, it's most likely going to be Abjured 1-0 over Dodge or Die going into Legacy, and Legacy is a tough map. For anyone, you know, if you have a team that's really good in team fights, if they communicate well, if the rotations are on point, it's really hard to take notes from them. The midpoint is very large, so we're going to have to see how that works out. Noskok is very good at managing his cooldowns and coming into these team fights and positioning himself in a way that he doesn't get pressured. So this is 501 to 75. Wow. The Abjured really dominating this matchup.
I mean, just like I said, I'm just impressed. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I was expecting Dodge or Die to win. To be honest, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Abjured was going to take at least the series, but I expected it to be a little bit more competitive. I mean, like I said, I'm just impressed. This is not Dodge or Die is a very, very good team. Maybe it's just they haven't been playing together as long as the Abjured has, but just the way Dodge or Die was not able to get anything going against the Abjured there. Again, this is just a dominating performance by our WTS champions. Now, as you said, nothing's unbeatable. Somebody is going to crack the code in beating the Abjured, and when that happens, we are going to have the next shift in the meta. It seems like 2 things are always constant in this Guild Wars 2 community that I've been a part of since beta. Okay, it is complaining about the meta and complaining about team comps, just in general, like complaining about what classes are OP, and then complaining about what compositions are OP when they're all put together. But
sooner or later, someone always figures it out, and we see it, and it comes through in a tournament, and everybody is blown away. So it's just a matter of time until someone figures it out. It's just a matter of time before a group of players really buckle down and say, how are we going to do this? How are we going to beat this? We saw this happen to Apex. We saw this. We're seeing it currently unfold versus CM. It's just a matter of time before it happens to the Abjured. So we'll have to see how it unfolds. We got another match underway here. Both teams in position. So let's go right into the map here. They're loaded up and ready. We're going to see how this Legacy match goes. Again, right now it's 1-0 for the Abjured over Dodge or Die. This is a best of 3 match, so this could potentially be it. If the Abjured takes this over Dodge or Die right now, this will be it. They go home with $400 in their pockets, and they will move on to the WTS IQ as well as Dodge or Die. However, if Dodge or Die takes this, we're going to go into a Game 3 in Battle of Kylo. So without further ado, I just want to see this match. We've been working sports all day. I really just want to see this match. I've been waiting for this ever since we started the NA brackets. We actually just had a DC, I believe, due to inactivity. We're going to go ahead, and as soon as he gets back in, which should be any time now because all teams are readied up except for, I believe, Nos just unready because of that DC. Chaith, that's Chaith. He's actually, 5 gauge is actually restarting there. So as soon as he gets back in, we're going to get this started up. So looking at both teams right now, it looks like everybody is pretty much staying exactly what they were before. There's no significant changes. There's no actual changes at all from what I can tell. Both teams kind of sticking to what they know. Zombify opting for that Traveler rune set still, not opting for the Nightmare one. It's just going to come down to the play style. you can't have Cade being dropped out and turning that team fight into a 4v5 very early on. You can't have things like that happening because that's how bad things start happening. It's hard to come back from that, as we said. So we're going to look to see how Dodge or Die opens this match and how they continue on from that point, because it's really going to come down to those first 3 minutes, in my opinion, how those first couple of team fights unfold, how that split happens, who they send where. That's the biggest thing. We got good players on both teams. It's really going to come down to how they pull things off.
Yeah, you know what? This is, like I said, going to be I just want to see a competitive match, right? I'm a big fan of this scene in general, and I'd like to see Dodge or Die just do a little bit better. I want to see a little bit more rivalries developing here in the NAC, and I don't want to see just one team kind of dominating the scene here. And I don't think that's, like I said, going to last for very long. Like I said, a lot of people, mentioning the Selly meta. Well, I remember the Condi meta, right? I mean, I'm sure you do too, and that was eventually figured out. Updates happen as well. I don't think it's just the meta. I think just, Wakey, Fanaram, Nos, Toker, and 5-Gauge, they have good chemistry together. They work very hard at their craft, and I'd like to see another team get to their level, within this meta and moving forward. So I thought Dodge or Die had that potential. I still do. I like the players on this team. I think they have the potential to take it to the Abjured, but they're going to have to make a statement here. They're going to have to show up a little bit better than they did in that first game here. So I'm like I said, anxious for 5-Gauge to get into the server so we can see if they Dodge or Die can improve on that last match, or is Abjured just going to take this 2-0 as a cakewalk? Like I said, anxious to see what happens here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like 5-Gauge is back now, so we're going to have both teams starting up here. Let's get this match underway. Like I said before, the Abjured is up 1-0, so they can take this right now. It's a best-of-3 match, so if they win this, it's over. It's $400 in their pockets that they get to split up amongst themselves, and they're going to be moving on to the WTS IQ along with Dodge or Die, but with the bragging rights that follows it. So right now we've got 3 seconds, and the match will be underway. Let's take a look at the splits.
Yeah, all right. So again, we normally see that 2-2-1 or 2-1-2 here. I anticipate both teams to be very aggressive, and we are seeing that as this opening split has developed here. We do have, I believe that is Fanaram capping the Corey, but he's going to run into Oeggs, Cade, and Zombifier, both heading that way. Looks like just Oeggs is going to commit. No, all 3 of them are going to commit over on Fanaram, over on the Corey node. In the meantime, Wakey doing the best he can to hold on in a 1v1 against Tarsus over on the Graveyard. I don't anticipate that matchup being decided anytime soon. So looking over here at the Corey, Fanaram just sort of bailed on the point there. No sense in dying in a 1v3 situation. He's going to go and +1 the fight on mid. The Abjured has also taken the waterfall fairly quickly. So we do have, though, what looks like Tarsus going into the downstate here. They're going to try to pick him up. Tarsus, though, does have poison and burning on him, so that's going to be a hard task for them to do so. Cade also went into the downstate as well. So, again, a quick victory here on the Graveyard point for the Abjured. And this match seems to be starting very similar to the first one. The Dodge or Die did get the Corey node, but they've given up both the Waterfall and the Graveyard.
Just out of curiosity, I want to see what everyone in the chat thinks about this. It's 58-20. It's a 2-cap for the Abjured. It's looking pretty decisive for the Abjured right now. However, we know that Dodge or Die is still a really solid team. And what does the chat think right now? Where do we see this going? The Abjured taking this 2-0, or do we see this going into Game 3? What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat. We'll take a look, and we're interested in seeing what you guys think about that. But as we can see right now, Abjured really just doing a really good job. They decapped Corey over there. They won that 1v1, so they're going to get that cap out. And they're going to get a 3-cap going in their favor. It's now 100-30. We're only 2 minutes into the match. As I said before, it's really going to come down to the first 3 minutes of that match, and you can really see that unfolding here. There's a 3-cap already. They're really decisively getting an advantage here, and they're just moving them into their own base. They're basically kind of setting up somewhat of like a hot join spawn camp situation that's kind of unfolding here. It's really,
on one point, it's kind of disappointing because you really want to see something more exciting for a final like this. But on the other side, you know, conversely, it's kind of impressive. I mean, it really is. Like, this is a strong team. Osterjegs, Tarsus, Cade, Zombify, H-Man, these are not new players to the scene. These are all very, very experienced players, and they're just absolutely dominating right now with a 3-cap happening, and now they actually managed to, they lost Quarry, but there's a 2v1 happening there, so it's just a matter of time until they get that back. And right now, with the 2-cap that's still happening, they're controlling these fights. Osterjegs waiting that long, long respawn timer there. It's going to really, really hurt Dodge or Die. It's going to be a huge detriment to this team fight that's unfolding here at Waterfall. But the decap does happen at Waterfall. Unfortunately, they traded it for Quarry, and it looks like this team fight is going to be shoved more offensively towards blue side as Wakey and Nos are under a little bit of pressure here. Wakey has to kind of peel around just to stay alive. However, he's getting very, very low. He's in water right now, but there's no more cooldowns for him left to get, so he has to go into fire and use that evasive burning speed just to kind of move around. Tarsus trying to chase him out, but because of that, he got strung out a bit, and now he's very low as well, and Wakey doing a great job of keeping himself alive. He's at 50% now. Tarsus very low, as well as H-Man also really low, but H-Man is actually over at midpoint, so H-Man could potentially, you know, maybe he's going to be pulling out, and it looks like Nos is going to be chasing him out. So it's really going to come down to this Waterfall fight. There's a 1v1 kind of happening right now between Cade and Nos right now at Quarry, and looks like Nos really controls this fight as Cade goes into SR to try to reset, and he's going to pull back into the fight. However, now looking back at Waterfall, Fanaram under heavy pressure with all those bleeds and that poison there, it looks like he's going to be dropped, and he does indeed get dropped. Zombify going to wait out the Vapor Form and get that stop. However, the Fear comes out as Nos comes in, and they're going to try to pick him back up, and he's at 98%, and he's going to be cleaved out right here. I can definitely see that he's going to be cleaved out, and Nos is to follow shortly. They just took out all of his Death Shroud there, and it looks like Cade actually with the decap there. They're trying to work this right now. They're trying to do anything they possibly can to deter any point accumulation from Abjured here, and it looks like they're doing a lot better job than what they were doing before.
Yeah, but is it too little too late? I mean, in 274 to 45, this lead has just been mounted by the Abjured in a very dominant fashion for most of this match. I mean, if you are Dodge or Die, you obviously don't give up, but you've got to start winning these fights more consistently, and it looks like they are doing that. They have right now Wakey into the downstate on Graveyard with members of the blue team, H-Man included, and Tarsus doing a great job of cleaving down that body. Fanaram wasn't able to get over and support Wakey, so it looks like a 2-cap might actually come out in favor of the blue team as they are going to go ahead and get the stomp on Wakey, but you still have Fanaram on that Graveyard node. That is a lot of sense to sustain. Nos is also slid over, and 5-gauge, so the Abjured just so fast with their rotations, moving over to support the Graveyard quickly. At the same time, the Waterfall node has been decapped as well, and that is under contention, so the only point right now held is in favor of the Abjured, which has just been decapped. So we have, it looks like the blue team is going to recap the Waterfall. At the same time, looking over at the Quarry, we do see 5-gauge heading over there as he is chasing OEGs in that direction. Quarry has been full capped for Dodge or Die as well. So they are mounting a little bit of a comeback here. It's going to be interesting to see if they can sustain it and actually make this game competitive, or is this going to just be kind of a flash in the pan, last gasp from the Dodge or Die, and we're going to see the Abjured just sort of retake momentum. The Abjured has secured the Graveyard. We are looking right now at the 1v1 with Wakey and Tarsus. The reason why is we see Fanaram sliding over to help in that fight now. It is a 2v1. At the same time, on the other side, Cade has been doing a good job of decapping Quarry and then full capping it for his team, and now he's trying to keep that point for his team, but it's not going to work as we do see the decap going off over at the top of your screen. So looking in the picture-in-picture, yeah, the 5-gauge is capping that right now for the red team. So that's going to be, again, a 2-cap in favor of the Abjured, with the pressure still being put on the Waterfall node. Tarsus doing the best he can to keep this decapped at least, and holding out against Wakey and Fanaram. He's got Zombify helping him, Tarsus does, but really the Ellies have just been on him since the start, putting that burning on him that does so much damage with the Celestial Amulet. It looks like he's close or in danger of going into the downstate. He's had to step off the point, which has allowed that to be completely decapped. Neither team has any ticks in favor of their team. So if things go the way that they are right now, just the Abjured again is going to take this no problem. 384 to 88, man. Yeah, 7 minutes left. This is, again, pretty impressive.
Yeah, one thing to know, Wakey actually gets dropped here. They're probably going to be able to manage to get that full downstate because Fanaram doesn't really have the ability to stand there and take that. So they're going to take Wakey out of this right here. And Nozcock actually down as well, and they're potentially going to be able to get him full down too. There's a lot of cleave being dropped down on him, so I believe they're actually going to go for the res. We'll have to see what happens. Actually, he does get up. It looks like he rallied off of, I believe it was Cade actually that happened. Magic Toker got that beautiful WTS banner off, or that flag off, and now Ostrich Egg's getting dropped and cleaved. So much cleave happening on top of Ostrich right now. Fantaram finishes the job with a Churning Earth there. Nos drops. Toker's trying to get him up, but so much cleave happens, and then the fear as well, and they actually managed to still get him up. Fanaram doing a great job bending over and getting him up there, and he gets dropped for it. So they're basically just trading places at this point. One goes down, they pick him up, another goes down right after, and they're putting a ton of pressure right on Fanaram. They want to solidify one of their downstates here because they really need to get a foothold here. There's 6 minutes left. There's still technically time, but it's just going to be, they have to hope for a miracle here because there's only 55 points left for them to block out before Abjured takes this 2-0. 50 points now. They have Corey. It looks like potentially what we're going to see is the Abjured kind of just stalling things out on Corey, trying to make things last as long as possible so that they can hold that node and keep accumulating those points there. Cade is actually being forced to kind of like leave this fight, move over to a different one. There's too much condies for him to deal with over there, so he's going to move out and just kind of like come back in at a later time, reset. Looking over at Waterfall, there's a decap happening right there. I think what's going to happen here, Justin, is that it's just going to come down to this Corey node. They're going to hold it for long enough. They're going to get a couple of kills here. I assume 2 or 3 kills are going to wind up happening in favor of the Abjured, and they're going to take this in about 40 seconds, in my opinion. We're going to see it.
Yeah, no, this is definitely in favor of the Abjured. So, you know what, congratulations to them, right? I mean, this is the #1 team for a reason. They're coming off of that WTS championship run, and they are not showing any cracks yet. Dodge or Die, like I said, was very impressive in their semifinal. Looked like they were going to at least put some pressure on the Abjured, but man, the Abjured just has handled this easily. 2-0, no problem here, as we are already probably seeing, let's see here, no GGs being called yet. It's Dodge or Die fighting to the end, but 501 to 170. That's going to go 2-0 in favor of the Abjured. There you go, guys. Congratulations to the Abjured. They win another one here. They are $400 richer. Your defending WTS champions are still rolling here in the North American scene. So, what a day, man. This has been crazy.
16 hours of sports, It's just a long day.
So I do want to thank ESL for giving us the opportunity to do this, and to thank Josh Davis over at ArenaNet for all the incredible work that he has done to not just elevate the PvB scene, but he's also elevated us, DPS. I was just reflecting on this the other day that, Christian, you and I started casting together in the summertime. Not a lot of people know this story, but I didn't want to cast. It wasn't my original plan, but they did talk me into it. My co-owners at Digital Professional Sports, you and I did that DPS fight night together. You were a complete stranger. We just met you in the community, invited you out to come join us, and you've really kind of been a full member of the team here at Digital Professional Sports since that day, since July. Since then, thanks to Josh Davis and ArenaNet, DPS has had the opportunity to cast the Tournament of Legends 2 qualifier. We've had the chance to run the North American Tournament of Glory, and then we've had the opportunity to run 2 ESL Cups, just streaming them for you guys. We have brought an incredible amount of technology to the scene, and I'm really proud of all of our accomplishments. There's one other group that I got to thank, and that's the group that's downstairs right now. That would be, none of you guys know their names, but they're, Steve and David and Brian and Dale. They've been with us since the very beginning, and they've been running the stream, running the Twitch chat, running the cameras, doing all of the graphics ahead of time, making those transitions, and I've got to thank them publicly for all of their hard work. We would be nothing without you guys. You guys are awesome as well. Digital Professional Sports is a tournament production company. We put on esporting events like this. We actually are doing another esporting event this month. We have on January 17th our first fighting game event of the year. We are going to be streaming out of the Hard Times in Manassas, Virginia. Yep. So if you guys are local and you live somewhere in Virginia, come on up. We're in Manassas for the day at the Hard Times. We're running a tournament out of there featuring games like Injustice, Street Fighter, Smash Brothers as well. We will be streaming from this channel as well. So if you're interested in fighting games, go ahead and follow the channel so you can get all of our updates. Not sure what the next time is when we are going to be back here for Guild Wars 2, but we will see you guys in the future again, depending on just how things work out.
Yeah,
we don't know. We've got a very busy schedule too with other stuff, but we love the Guild Wars community. We've all been playing it since beta, so anytime that we get to do this for you guys is a pleasure. Finally, thank you guys to the viewers for bearing with us today. We had some things that were out of our control, and honestly, that's what happens in the production business. You just got to roll with it and do what the admins tell you. So thank you guys for your patience that you guys showed, and thank you again for all the support that you guys have shown us throughout the years. So, Hirix, do we have anything else?
That is about it. I just want to say thank you again to all the viewers watching. We've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning this morning, so it's a long day. We're just ready to pack up and get something to eat. So thanks, guys, for sticking around with us, and hope you have a good night.
All right, guys, take care.